Hey guys, it's Emily and today I am doing another 24-hour readathon. So today I am so excited because I am participating in the Rory Gilmore 24-hour readathon hosted by Kira and Carolyn. I will leave the information to both of their channels down below if you guys want to check them out. But I am so excited to participate in this 24-hour readathon because if you didn't know this about me, I love Gilmore Girls. I try to rewatch it every year during the fall season. For me, it just has a special significance and I've always loved Rory. I think she's so well read, and I think it's Kira who said that Rory is probably one of the most well-read characters on television, and I have to agree like 100%. She reads so many books throughout the TV show, and I've always kind of aspired to be Rory because I just think that she has such an amazing life overall. But we won't dive into Rory too much right now. I will be participating in this readathon, which I'm very excited about. So I don't have a set TBR for this 24-hour readathon. The goal is mostly to just read all of the books on the Rory Gilmore reading list. Obviously I won't be reading all 339 of them, but I will be attempting to read at least a couple. There is also a bingo board, which I will include here, and will also be attempting to complete as many challenges as I can today. So now, the readathon starts in like 4 hours. It's about 7:40 p.m. and I will be starting this reading vlog by doing the how many books mentioned on Gilmore Girls have you read BuzzFeed quiz. So this is basically the list that I will be following, and BuzzFeed has done this quiz where you can check out how many books you've read on the Rory Gilmore reading list. So this is what we're going to start doing. I have done it, but I've done it a while ago, so I don't remember exactly how many books I had read. So we'll do like an updated version, and let's just do that right now, shall we? So I have my laptop here, and we will see if I'm as well read as Rory Gilmore. Alright, so the results are in, and I have checked 29 out of 339 books, which isn't that great. I think we can say that I'm not as well read as Rory, but that's okay. We are going to be working on it. What's great though is that I have checked more than 58% of quiz takers, which makes me feel a little bit better about myself because that means that a lot of people are not as well read as Rory either. So it's not that bad. We can do better though. So as I said, it's about 8 p.m. and the readathon starts at midnight. Usually I would probably start beforehand and just finish like at whatever time I start the next day. But since this officially starts at midnight and I have a feeling that Rory would start at midnight, we are going to start at midnight because I know that Rory's a stickler for the rules, and so she would start at midnight. Like I have a feeling deep down inside of me that she would start at midnight. So we're going to be trying to be as great as Rory and start at midnight as we should. I am not going to stay up for the whole 24 hours. I'm already telling you, I just don't want to stay up for 24 hours. That's just not feasible for me, at least. I don't really drink coffee, so that's why it's just not even in the cards for me. But we are going to be starting at midnight. So in the meantime, I'm going to do whatever, get ready for bed and everything, and I guess I'll see you guys at midnight. I might like even watch some episodes of Gilmore Girls in order to get ready because I did start my annual rewatch of Gilmore Girls 2 days ago actually, because I was really excited for this readathon. So I'm gonna be doing my things and I will see you guys in a couple of hours. Hey guys, so it's 11:57 and the readathon is about to officially start in not that long, and I've decided that I will be starting with The Little Match Girl by Anderson. So one of my aims for this readathon is to read a lot of things, but a lot of short things, so that I can knock a few out of the park very easily. So I have decided to read a fairy tale because I thought this was fitting, and I have this beautiful edition of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, and so I thought I would read The Little Match Girl. It's only about 3 pages long, so we'll start with that, and then I'll probably just go right to bed unless I'm feeling like reading something else. But to be honest, like I'm probably just gonna go to bed because I'm super tired. Staying up the past hour was difficult. Up until 11 it was fine, but the past hour was kind of a challenge for me because I was just feeling like going to bed. But I did watch a few Gilmore Girls episodes, and now I am ready to take on this readathon. So I'll wait until midnight and then we can start our first read. We're off to a great start. So it's 12:06 and I just finished my first read, which was Little Match Girl by Hans Christian Andersen, and wow, that was sad. I just wasn't expecting it to be that sad. I think I kind of knew the ending already, but it's so sad. It's only 3 pages, but it packs a punch. So I'm not that tired yet. I honestly thought it would take me a little bit longer. I didn't realize it was only 3 pages. I think I thought it was maybe a little bit longer than that. So I think what I'm going to do now is pick up another fairy tale that I had set on my TBR. I have the ebook version of the Grimm Brothers fairy tales, and Snow White is on the Rory Gilmore reading list. So I think I'll try to find Snow White and the Red Rose, I think the original name of it is, and read that. I don't know if it's long. I'll start it and we'll see if I finish it, but since I'm not that tired, I might as well make the best out of it and try to read another short thing. Hey guys, so it is the next day. I have slept quite well, but I did oversleep a little bit. It is currently 9:20 a.m. and I think it's time for us to get back into reading. So let me recap what you have missed basically since I've last updated you. So I did finish reading Snow White and Rose Red by the Grimm Brothers, and the story was so different from what I was expecting. I thought I would be getting the Snow White tale that is behind like all of the movies, but it was not that at all, and so I was kind of surprised by it. I did enjoy it, but I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed because I wanted to read the original Snow White tale, and I don't know if the Grimm Brothers wrote that story. I have a feeling that they have, but maybe there's another Snow White tale, I don't know. But I did enjoy it. It just took me by surprise because I didn't think that I was going to read the story that I read, if that makes sense. So we finished that. So that means that so far we have completed 2 things for the readathon. Let's do an update on our bingo board, shall we? So far we have read a book from the Rory Gilmore reading list. We've actually read 2, and we have read a classic because the fairy tales are classic. So 2 things crossed off. So like I said, right now it's about 9:20 and it's time for us to pick our next read. So I had decided to go with A Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I just realized that this kind of matches my wallpaper. Cute, huh? Anyway, I'm very excited to be reading this. I picked this up because of Emma from the channel Emmy. I remember listening to her reading this for an ASMR video that she did, and I fell in love with the book with its prose and everything, so I decided that it was finally time for me to start reading it, and so I'm very excited to dive into it. I also have downloaded the audiobook because I think it might help me. I liked having it being told to me last time, so I thought this might help me enjoy the book a little bit more. I've heard nothing but great things about this book. Everyone who reads it seems to love it, so I'm very excited to read it, and also this edition is absolutely gorgeous. So without further ado, let's dive into our book. Hi guys, so I apologize if you can hear any background noise. I'm trying out different spots in my house because when I film reading vlogs I feel like I'm always filming in the same spots, and I was tired of like carrying my ring light everywhere with me, so I decided to like set up here. So I'm sorry. Anyway, I wanted to update you guys on my progress with the Picture of Dorian Gray. It is about 12:35 p.m. and I am currently on page 74 and I am loving this book so much so far. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I am listening to the audiobook and it is narrated by Ben Barnes, and oh my god, you guys, the audiobook is absolutely incredible. And if you have never listened to the audiobook while reading this book, highly recommend it. If it's your first time reading it, highly recommend listening to the audiobook as well. And overall, I'm just really enjoying the experience with the audiobook. And today is such a perfect day for like a cozy reading day. With the weather and everything, it just feels very perfect for reading. So I'm absolutely loving this so far. The writing is incredible. It is why I'm loving this book so much so far, because like the plot is fine, but the writing just elevates this book to an entirely new level, and I'm absolutely in love with it. So right now I think I'm going to take a little break. I'm not tired of reading, but just like not in a headspace to read right now. I kind of want to take a mini break, and I'll be completely honest with you guys, I don't necessarily have a lot of other options besides this book from the Rory Gilmore reading list to read today. So like I think I'm going to be able to finish this very quickly and easily, so I just don't want to push myself to finish it in a short period of time, especially since I don't necessarily have a lot of other books to read after this one. So we're going to take a mini break and watch some episodes of Gilmore Girls. Also, update on the bingo board, I have drank coffee or any hot drink. So I haven't drank coffee, but as you guys saw, I prepared a cup of hot chocolate, which is one of my drinks of choice. I love hot chocolate, especially during the winter and like the fall season. So cozy and perfect while reading. So I had that. And now let's go check out our episodes. Hey guys, so it is currently 7:30 and I just finished reading The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. So this afternoon basically I just like watched a couple of episodes of Gilmore Girls and read. So I would like watch a couple of episodes, then read a little bit, then when I got tired of reading just watched a couple more episodes, and now I am done and I have finished this. So I think I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 stars. I did really enjoy it for the most part. I loved the writing. I think if it hadn't been for the beautiful writing, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much. I just really loved it. I don't know what it is, but I just really connected with it. And even though like the plot itself wasn't necessarily the most interesting, like I was intrigued, but it wasn't like I was on the edge of my seat because I wanted to find out what would happen next. I enjoyed this book a lot because of the writing, and it really makes me want to see if Oscar Wilde has written anything else. I'm not too familiar with his work besides this book, so I'll have to see if he has written anything else. But the writing alone, it makes me want to dive into more of his work, so hopefully he has written other things that I might be interested in. But let's talk about the plot and the characters a little bit. So I, like I said, wasn't really connecting with the plot. I don't know what it is. I think it might be because of the characters actually, but I was intrigued for the first half of the book, but I feel like it kind of lost me in the second half, even though like this is where things get interesting. But for some reason I just wasn't as intrigued in the second half of the book, though I will admit the ending was absolutely amazing. I really like that. I was kind of like shook when I read that. I was like, ooh, like this. And I like that there's like a mystery that is kind of vibrating throughout this book. We never really know what really happened, like how that came to be, and I don't want to be too precise because I think it's a good thing that you dive into this book not knowing too much about it. So I just want to say that there's like a mystery, almost like magical vibe that is never really confirmed. There's something that happened but we don't know what it is, and I like that about it. But I think my biggest issue with this book is the characters, not because they were badly portrayed. I think the author did a great job at really creating well-rounded characters. However, I couldn't connect to any of them, and I think that kind of hindered my enjoyment of the book because I'm someone who has to connect to the characters in order to like really enjoy a story. And in this case, even though like I understood the characters and I thought the author did a great job at creating super fleshed out characters, I just couldn't connect to anyone, and I didn't really care, even though not entirely true, but I just couldn't see myself. I just couldn't create a connection, and so it was kind of hard for me to really enjoy this book as much because of that. But I still really enjoyed it, and I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, mostly because of the writing, but also because I think objectively the author did a great job. Even though like I didn't love everything about it, it doesn't mean that this was a bad book. Also, I have to talk about the audiobook. It was absolutely amazing. If you guys haven't listened to the audiobook for this book, highly recommend it. Ben Barnes is an incredible narrator, and I honestly don't think I would have enjoyed it nearly as much if it hadn't been for the audiobook. It was just so good, and it added like an atmosphere atmosphere to the story. I just really liked it and I would highly recommend it. Even if it's a reread for you guys or if it's your first time reading it, I highly recommend the audiobook. It was so great and I loved it a lot, and I could see myself reading this book in the future. Overall, I really enjoyed it and I would highly recommend it if you guys are looking for a classic. It's quite easy to read. This is one of the things that I was afraid of when picking up classics for this challenge, because I am kind of scared of them. I'm kind of intimidated by classics. I thought that this would be hard to read, and so I kept not picking it up even though I've had it for a while. But it's honestly really easy to follow, and English is my second language, so if I can read it, I think everyone can read it, and I did really enjoy it, and the themes were really well explored as well. Now, I think I'm going to watch an episode of Gilmore Girls. I'm kind of in the mood to take a mini reading break, but we do have like 4 hours and a half left of the readathon, and I kind of want to be at least trying to read something else. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of reading material left that I could possibly like try. I found this printable on Pinterest, which is a list of all the books that are on the Rory Gilmore reading list, the one that is on BuzzFeed. I will leave the link to the printable down below if you guys want to check it out and download it. Personally, I find it super helpful because that way I don't have to do the test every time, and I can always refer back to it if I want to try more books on the Rory Gilmore reading list. So I browsed the list and there's like 2 books that I could possibly read. One of them is a poem, and so I might read that. Actually, it's The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. I found it online, and so I think I could read that. Would be an easy read. It's a poem, so I would probably be able to finish it very easily and quickly. And then I have downloaded a free ebook as well that I found of a classic that I could possibly read, but I'm not sure if we'll get to it tonight. I should, because like I said, I have 4 hours and a half left, and unless I decide to just watch Gilmore Girls all night, I still have a lot of time, and like The Raven won't take 4 hours and a half to read, so I should probably like at least try to start the other book. But I haven't made a decision yet because I'm not sure if I'm still in the mood to read. So what I'm gonna do is read The Raven and then watch Gilmore Girls for a little bit, and then I'll get back to you guys and tell you if I decide to read something else tonight. Okay, so quick update before I watch the episode. I finished The Raven, and I'll be honest, I don't get it. I don't know if it's because of the writing style. It's really beautifully written, but I'm just not sure I get it. And this is one of those instances where I wish I was discussing it in a class or something and I had like a professor explaining it to me, because I don't get it. I'm like, okay, but I'm not sure I understood everything, so I'll have to do a little bit of research, I think, to just make sure that I get everything. But it was a beautifully written poem, and I would be willing to try other like Edgar Allan Poe stuff. I have read some of his short stories before. I think I read 2 of them in class for different courses at uni and CJEP before, but honestly I just didn't get this one and that's on me. I mean, maybe it's because English is my second language and I just didn't really understand the language in this one, but it was good as far as I could tell, but like I said, didn't get it. So now let's watch Gilmore Girls. Okay, so I know this isn't the most flattering position, but I just wanted to do a quick update. It is 8:35 and I just finished watching the episode that I was currently watching of Gilmore Girls, and I'm going to start reading another book. So I will be reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. As I've mentioned, I have an ebook that I downloaded, so I will start reading that. I don't know if I'll finish it. I'll read for a bit and maybe I'll watch another episode if I'm not feeling it. We'll try. I think I should at least give it a try. I don't remember if it's a short book or not. I think it's about 200 pages, so I should be able to finish it before I go to bed, but we never know with classics, so I'm going to give this a try. I think it's a children's classic though, so it might be easier to read. Anyway, I'm going to start reading, see what I think, and if I decide not to read anymore, then we'll just continue watching Gilmore Girls, and if not, if I decide to read, I will attempt to finish this before midnight, so wish me luck. Hey guys, so it's 10:20 and I just finished reading The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I don't really know what to think. I don't have much to say, to be completely honest. I was familiar with the story. I had never read it before, but I mean, I kind of knew what it was about, and so the ending wasn't that unexpected. So I felt like I wasn't really invested in the story. So I think I'm just going to give it like a 2 out of 5 stars, maybe a 3. Like I didn't hate this, but I also didn't love it. I just don't feel anything for it. I'm not mad that I read it or anything. Like it's fine. But I do feel like kind of was a waste of time since I already knew how it ended. But it was not a bad book by any means. And if you're not familiar with the story, I think you would enjoy this. It's just that since I knew the story, I just wasn't really invested. Like I just didn't care so much. So yeah, I don't have a lot more to add because, as I said, this book didn't make me feel anything. It didn't bring anything new to the table. I just kind of knew what to expect, so I dove into it knowing. But it wasn't bad. A 2 doesn't mean it's bad, it just wasn't for me. But I have finished it, which means that I have read 5 things during this readathon. I'm not going to start something else. It's 10:30. I don't think I am in the mood to read something else, but I also don't think I will have time to finish anything else, so I just will not start anything new. Also, there's the fact that I didn't have any other reading plans. Like this is the extent of my TBR that I had planned for this readathon. Like I hadn't made a lot of plans for it. I kind of found out last minute, and so I had to like scramble to find enough books, and then I did thought that it would take me longer to read The Picture of Dorian Gray and just like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which was not 200 pages. It was only about 100 pages or so after all. I don't think it's a children's classic either. I don't know why I thought it was. I would not consider this like a children's classic. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do right now is go to bed. Maybe I'll watch an episode of Gilmore Girls, but I think I might just like go to bed, and tomorrow morning we'll wrap everything up and I'll tell you guys how many pages that I've read and everything, and we'll talk about the bingo board because I haven't really updated you guys on that front. Hey guys, so it is the next day, and as mentioned before, I will be recapping everything that I've read. So the first thing that I finished was The Little Match Girl by Hans Christian Andersen, and this was 6 pages only, but I did really enjoy it. Then I read The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This was 213 pages, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also read Snow White and Rose Red by the Grimm brothers, and I enjoyed this one, but it was really different from what I was expecting. I also read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Still don't really get it. I haven't really done any research, but I'll have to like research it to really understand the meaning, but I did like the way it was written. And finally, I read The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, and I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars. I just didn't really care for it, but I think it could be really enjoyable. I've seen a lot of people on Goodreads giving it really high ratings, so I think it just wasn't for me. But I would still recommend it if you guys are looking for kind of gothic, not horror, but almost classic for this fall season. So that means that overall during the 24-hour readathon, I read a grand total of 5 things. I say things instead of books because like a poem is not a book technically, but you know, I'm counting it as 5, and I'm really happy with the progress and like just the reading that I did. I am now at 33 things on the Rory Gilmore reading list, which is great. And I really want to thank Kira and Carolyn for hosting this 24-hour readathon. I had so much fun, and it made me read more classics, which is one of my goals for the year, and it was a great way for me to do that. Now, I loved this experience so much that I think I would like to repeat it in the future and do maybe like Rory Gilmore, either reading vlogs or like reading updates every once in a while. And I'd love to know if you guys would like to see something similar to that. I think it could be a great way for me to motivate myself to read more classics. Having a challenge like this really helps me in terms of like motivation, and it also gives me kind of like an idea of where to go, because with classics it's so large and vague, and there's like so many classics that I just never know where to go. Like I never know what to pick up, and I do want to read more classics, but I just don't know which ones I should pick up. So the Rory Gilmore reading list really helps me, I guess, pick up classics, like just choose ones. I just have to pick one from the list and that's it. So let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in. I had a lot of fun today, and I would love to make even more Rory Gilmore and like Gilmore Girls related content on my channel. I also wanted, before I sign off this vlog, to update you guys on the bingo board, because I feel like I haven't really done that. I wish I had taken the bingo board a little bit more seriously. I didn't really follow it as we went along with the readathon, but I did manage to cross off a couple of things. So the first thing that I did complete was read a cozy book. I think like any of the books that I chose to read during this readathon could be considered to be cozy books. I mean, The Picture of Dorian Gray and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde were like very fall-ish. So for me, that's like very cozy, and even the fairy tales, it reminds me of my childhood, so it's very cozy as well. So like pretty much every book that I picked could be considered to be cozy, so I completed that challenge. Then watch an episode of Gilmore Girls if in need of a break. I actually ended up watching, I think, 4 during the day. Then I completed Drink Coffee or Any Hot Drink. I had hot chocolate and it was really yummy. Then read a book from the Rory Gilmore reading list. All the books that I've read during the 24-hour readathon were on the Rory Gilmore reading list, so that counts. Then read more than 3 books, any length. Once again, completed because I did read 5 different things, so another thing that I can cross off the bingo board. And finally, read a classic. Everything that I've read I think could be considered a classic. And now I think I'm just going to sign off the vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give this a big thumbs up. That really helps out my channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next video.